Yes, the MP7A1, the arch nemesis to the P90. And we got the Tokyo Marui automatic electric pistol toy version of this thing. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Wow. Instruction manual in Japanese. Instruction manual in Japanese. And the actual toy itself. Now you'll notice that this thing is kind of small, and it's 10% smaller than the actual MP7. So it's actually 10% smaller than like the UNBOX version or the KSC version. And that's okay, because it's a lot easier to handle and it works well for Japanese CQB where spaces are very, very tight. And I remember with the gas version, which is also the same size as this, it was absolutely incredible being able to post up on tiny, tiny little barricades with this stick. And guys, it's a classic MP7. Modern Warfare 2, guys. Come on, you can't go wrong. Let's go tip to butt on this thing really quick. So as you can see here, we have a 12mm, I think, proprietary MP7 size flash hider. And of course it is the proprietary bird cage. And in the box, there is an included 12 to 14mm counterclockwise adapter, so you can put suppressors and other kinds of muzzle devices on. The body itself is made of plastic and there are metal parts on it. So like the rail on the top here, Picatinny rail is metal, the iron sights are metal, and the rails here are also metal. The bolt, I guess, or screw that holds in the grip is metal, but the grip itself is plastic. And it's a nice plastic. It's not that creaky ABS. It's very, very nice. Maybe the older batches probably had the creakiness, but we have one of the latest batches, so it's very, very nice. Very secure, very good. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break. We have the arms for the telescopic stock. We have the mock bolt release. And then we have our fire select, which is metal and has a nice pronounced click. And we have our trigger guard, nice and pronounced, good for gloves. And then we have our trigger safety, which is similar to a Glock. And then we have our mag release here. If you've ever used like a USP or something like that, you'll be familiar with this mag catch, but it does take some getting used to for those who've never used them before. The grip is also super straight, which also promotes good shooting posture, but it's kind of small if you have big hands, but that's okay if you get one of the extended magazines, then you can kind of just use your pinky to grab onto the magazine and it's completely fine. On the body, we have 2 sling points. You have one at the front, one at the back. We're gonna be going 1-point sling on this because it's really small, so you don't need to have 2-point slings on this thing. Then we have the bolt. And if you pull on this flimsy little charging handle, which is actually stronger than the gas version, to be honest with you, you can reveal the hop unit. Doesn't lock though, so. Then towards the back of the receiver, you have the latch, so we can release the stock. So you just push up on that. So the stock is actually made of metal, and it's nice and secure, but the butt plate is plastic, and it has 3 positions as well. So if you have big, long, lanky arms like me, you can go full size. I personally will probably go with the second position, just below that. And if you want to really take advantage of the size and still have a stock, you can go with the first position here, which is probably the ideal version because it really closes up your body a bit. So the iron sights actually have 2 settings. So you have the open sight, which is like Novak sights, and then you have the flip up ones for lower third co-witness, which is actually really nice, a peep version of that. And they're really, really clean. Very, very clean, easy to look through. Will I be using them? Probably not, because I like to use optics. And of course they are adjustable for windage, and then you get a little tool to adjust, you know, the front post, which you won't do. You'll probably only do it once, but yeah. And here's the magazine. It's like a little 12 round magazine, I suppose. Not sure how much count this is. I'll have to research that, but it's super small and it goes right into the grip and keeps you nice and compact. So this is really good for going around corners and not having the mag bang into the walls or anything like that. But I personally will be getting the large version of the magazine, the 40 rounder, and that will be really cool for the reloads, but this is also really nice to have. And of course they are plastic, so you can just kind of drop them on the ground and you're not gonna break them like the gas magazines. That was kind of one thing I didn't like about the gas magazines, is that they're super leaky. And the cool thing is, if I press the mag catch, it will drop automatically. Let's talk about the battery. So the battery is not a regular nickel metal hydride. It is actually a proprietary AEP battery, which is horrible. And it comes with this little adapter that you kind of shove into the front here, and we're not gonna use it because it's absolutely awful. You can go look at another video for that, but it's like, zzz, zzz, zzz. Terrible, terrible. We're not gonna be using that. What we are going to be using is the CMG conversion connector by Lilacs. And then we're going to use a Lilacs LiPo and shove it in this thing, and you're gonna see the response. It's gonna be a lot better, I hope. Okay, so here's the little tiny battery by Lilacs, and this thing is super tiny. And basically, you're going to just plug it into this little connector, slide that in, stuff in the little cables, and then you should be able to just put it in like that. Okay. Now for the sake of safety in this video, even though this MP7 is empty, This is not a gas ball back. We're going to test it now and see how it shoots. Oh, that's really nice. Yes. Wow. Doesn't lock up. So the thing is, this has a little proprietary AEP mini gearbox in it. So it can actually pump out a lot of juice with only a 7.4 LiPo. This is almost like an 11. Really nice. Let's move to full auto. That's nice, but we're not gonna go to full auto. The internals aren't meant for that, especially on LiPo. So just kind of keep this on semi. A little smoky, but I like it, I like it, I like it. Should be good. All right, so it's time to shoot this thing. So let's go ahead and load this up with 20 gram BBs by Marui. And I don't know how much I'm gonna be running this on. Probably on like 12 or 24 or whatever it's supposed to be. But let's go ahead and shoot some targets. All right, guys, so it's time to test the little toy here. We got our little target set up there, 5 meters or so. And we're just gonna check the grouping, see if the hop is okay, all that kind of stuff, and just the general accuracy. 0.2 gram baby ice and eye protection. MP7A1. Here we go. Holy crap! It's very, very accurate. Let's take a look. Sasuga Marui. Look at these groupings. Incredible. No hop, boys and girls. Let's do a little bit of hop. Okay, so to access the hop, you just pull the charging handle and do it up a little bit. It's kind of annoying to do on safe, but we have to because it's loaded. Just do a little bit of hop. Let's see how it goes. Ready? That rate of fire and that snappiness is really nice. Let's check it out. That grouping, man. That grouping, Jesus Christ. All right, guys, time for our chrono test. 0.2 gram base. Here we go. 78, 80, 80, 79. So that's with the hop kind of on. So why don't we go ahead and turn it off? 79. Yeah, so it doesn't do that decalpine shit. So like decalpine is when you kind of flick it. Yeah, 78, 80, perfectly viable for CQB. All right, guys, so I think it shoots really, really nicely. That's all we really need for this thing. Maybe change out the barrel and the bucking to get more range and speed, but the response is really, really good. Really, really good out of the box once you LiPo mod it. Like I said, when you use the normal battery, it's horrible. But with the LiPo, it's really good. So, the MP7A1, great little PDW, very small, very tiny, and you'll be able to go into those little tiny barricades with this little thing. And that's really good for Japanese CQB, because CQB in Japan is literally as wide as the screen as you're watching on right now, because you have really tiny barricades that you gotta kind of post up on, really, really tight little corners, and the little MP7A1 is gonna be perfect for that, even more so than the P90, I think. As a comparison, you can kind of see the difference in size between them, you know? In theory, they are the same, but for me, I don't know. I feel like the form factor, this is a lot smaller, a lot more compact. But I don't know, for like the MP7, it just feels more compact. But the P90 is also pretty compact, but it's a chonky boy, you know? I have the extended pad on here, but like, you know, it feels a lot chonkier to use the P90. But the P90 does have the benefit of being a bullpup, so it has a super long barrel, where the MP7A1 has a little tiny one. So apparently this thing could reach like 20 meters, 25 maybe, but you're gonna be using it in CQB anyway, so it should be okay with that. That's been the MP7A1. This Airsoft toy is definitely a keeper and an instant classic, guys. I hope you guys are ready for the content, especially with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone out. This is gonna be a fun one to use, and you guys get to see this thing in real life, but actually not really because it's a toy. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Click here if you want to watch any other video on my channel.